Shalom. This video is about the tensions and dilemmas that Jews and intermarried couples and conversionary couples face at the winter season on Hanukkah and Christmas. I want to explore some of the salient issues and hope that people can arrive at a way in which they can coexist and celebrate and enjoy the holiday time. First of all, for Jews, it's a difficult time because Christmas so overwhelms everything at this time of year, starting at Halloween now. And we see lights and all the prettiness and the festivities, and we walk into a store, it's Merry Christmas. And so Jews, no matter how enthusiastically Jewish, feel apart and other. So that is definitely a tension. Now, some Jews have decided that they will adopt some of these rituals of the Christians because they think that they're not really religious, so they know many Christians who aren't religious but have them. And I think that is a huge mistake, and that's the consensus of the Jewish community. First of all, the symbols of Christmas are very Christian. They go way back in Christian history, and they have deep ties to, first of all, paganism. In fact, some of them were outlawed by early Christians because they were so pagan, but then slowly adopted. This is clearly their holiday. For example, on the issue of the Christmas tree, the candles, the wreaths, the crèche, all of that have deep. For example, the crib goes back to St. Francis of Assisi in 1223. They're all associated in some way with Christianity. The candles with Jesus, the holly used by Christians to make wreaths symbolize the crowns of thorn that Jesus wore in his death. Kissing under the mistletoe is an ancient Scandinavian myth involving a god slain by a dart. The tree itself really didn't become significant for Christmas until the 1930s in America. But still, it's clear that Christmas is very wound up in Christian symbolism and myth. And if you just Google it, you can find out a great deal about it. And so to say it's not Christian is simply silly. Christmas is one of the most important, if not the most important, Christian holidays. It celebrates what they think is the birth of their God, even though scholars know that December 25th had nothing to do with the birth of Jesus. But still, you can't say, I'm going to adopt the symbols of this holiday because it's just secular. It's simply not a valid thing. Now, it's much more complicated, of course, when you have intermarried couples and conversionary couples. Even that aside, kids with two born Jewish parents and conversionary family still face the dilemma of sometimes in the schools they go, there's Christmas carols and Christmas wreaths and Christmas music. And the courts and continue to debate about that. The courts obviously allow Christmas trees in the public square. We have a big national tree candle lighting by the president. Seems like we're losing that battle about leaving the public square to be free of religious symbols. Lubavitch Chabad have taken the opposite tack and put menorahs on their cars, and they drive around town, and they have public candle lighting ceremonies saying if you can't beat them, join them. And I'll tell you just one interesting, I think, cute little story. When I was a kid, we had a Target-like store across the busy 87th Street, and my parents said, first of all, you can't cross that street because it's too busy, and second of all, on Christmas time, you can't go sit on Santa's lap. So, of course, my big sister, who was then 9, took us across the street. We had to see what this forbidden thing was. We got up in line. I sat on Santa's lap. He said, what do you want for Christmas? I said, I'm Jewish. So he patted me on the head and said in Yiddish, oh, yeah, Shaner Cuppy boy. So I was a 7-year-old, but I knew that meant he was Jewish. I said, what are you doing here? He said, you got to make a living. And we used to have very good friends who put up a Christmas tree, Christians next door, and we would go celebrate one day, around Christmas time with them, and they would come to our house and light candles and have latkes. And we were able to enjoy each other's holidays, clearly understanding it was their holiday and this was our holiday. Now, a lot of parents try and get away with saying, well, we have Hanukkah, it's better than Christmas, because we get 8 days. Well, it's not better than Christmas. Christmas pervades the whole environment. So the only thing a Jewish parent should say is what they should live, which is we have Shabbos, and we have Pesach, and Purim, and Tu B'Shvat, and Sukkot, and Shavuos, and Hanukkah, and Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. We have all these holidays, all this elaborate time. We live in a sukkah. We have decorations. We have all these wonderful rituals. It's our religious tradition. Let them have this one day, and we can enjoy it with them as their holiday. Now, what happens, though, when you come from a Christian background? Either you're in an interfaith family relationship or you're in a situation where you've converted and you still have non-Jewish parents and non-Jewish relatives and siblings. And that's a very difficult and complicated situation, and it's very challenging to navigate. I understand how hard it is, even when someone embraces Judaism, to still give up Christmas. And people have come to all kinds of different resolutions about it. If their family's all in town, sometimes they'll leave town for the holidays. Sometimes they don't deal with any, they don't go over at all. Sometimes they will go over before or after Christmas. Sometimes they'll say, we'll come to your house. We make it very clear that this is their holiday. Now, then the grandparents want to give Christmas presents. You have to decide whether you're going to say they should give Christmas presents or Hanukkah presents to your kids. Do you give Christmas presents to their kids and to them because they're Christian? Some people, there are all kinds of different resolutions people have. Now, I'll just give you the recommendation from the Interfaith Handbook. It says, quote, "We think that people who say they are raising their children Jewish but have a tree and celebrate Christmas are in effect not raising them in one religion. In America, the tree is such a potent symbol that it alone introduces the second religion in the home. If you have a tree, you have as much Christianity in your home as many Christian families. So their recommendation, celebrate Hanukkah enthusiastically and have your Jewish life throughout the year be vibrant enough to outshine Christmas once a year dazzle." We also have the new situation with so many Russian Jews coming here that the communist era tried to stamp out religion, so they encouraged everyone, including the Jews, to have a New Year tree. So many Russians come over here and they have a very secular tree. And what they have to be taught is, I don't care how secular you think it was there, that's a symbol of the Soviet Union trying to quash religion. That tree is a Christian symbol. You should have a Jewish life and Jewish home and put the tree away. I often kid with people who convert, build a sukkah and have evergreens on top as the schach, and then you'll get your evergreen fix. But I know how complicated it is. It's really would encourage people to not have a tree, to not have any symbols of the Christian holiday, but to live Jewishly as best they can. I understand the situation when there's an interfaith family, more complicated. You got a Christian and a Jew, and the couple has to decide, even before they get married, I think, certainly before children, how they're going to navigate that. Because Christmas is laden for Jews often with feelings of alienation. For Christians, it can be the feeling deeply about family and culture. And so you have to decide where you draw the line. You have to really think about a plan of action. You should make it clear to your family. And I don't want you to think that I totally have nothing practical to do with this. I'm married to a woman who enthusiastically embraced Judaism. Her 92-year-old mother is Christian. Her children are still Christian. We go see her mother during the winter break time. Her mother has a Christmas tree. That is just part of the reality of life. Now, we make it very clear we're Jews, and we're celebrating Judaism, but we want to honor and respect her mother. My wife sometimes goes to visit her kids that season of the year. Very clear that she's Jewish. She teaches Judaism, teaches world religion. But this is America today, and we have to resolve this in a way in which we respect our family's feelings and still are true to our heritage. So I just urge you at this season of the year to make Hanukkah as great a holiday as it is. Traditionally, it was considered to be a minor holiday, but it's taken on a great deal more significance because it really goes to the heart of the Zionist dream of the few fighting off the mighty who wanted to take over Israel. And it goes to the American dream about political and religious freedom. And it's the main holiday we have in the winter, during winter break, and usually, and so it's embraced enthusiastically by the Jewish people. When you actually study what percentage of Jews participate in what rituals, Hanukkah candle lighting and celebrating Hanukkah is one of the most observed Jewish festivals. So I hope that illuminates the subject a little bit. It requires careful thinking and careful planning. Of course, the position can evolve over the years, but I really would strongly consider Jewish households that want to be Jewish not to have any religious symbolism in their home, to make it clear to their non-Jewish friends and family that they are Jewish, they celebrate Jewishly, but they can definitely respect the religious celebrations of their family and friends by not making fun of them, by being there when their families are celebrating if they want, and by living together harmoniously in love and mutual affection.